Now these trees up on the hill are a little bit distracting, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my generative brush and see if I can't remove them. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my presets to use as a base, and I'm going to use C1 for this one. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down my exposure quite a bit, and then also reduce my highlights and my whites to bring back some more detail in our sky. Then to relight the image here, I'm going to go ahead and use a radial mask coming off of the horizon to really accentuate the sunrise coming into the photo. Along with increasing the exposure on that radial mask, I'm also going to increase the temperature to be a little bit warmer, as well as push the tint more towards the magentas. And I think I'll also decrease the dehaze on that radial mask just a hair to really accentuate that glow effect. Next, I'm going to create a sky mask so we can continue to bring back detail into our sky. Now with that sky mask selected, I'm going to go ahead and bring down our exposure a little bit, as well as bring down our highlights. Then I'm just going to push the tint more towards the magentas, and then increase our saturation a little bit more. And then lastly, for this sky mask, I'm just going to increase the dehaze a bit to bring back that last bit of detail for this sky. Next, I'm going to head back to our edits tab, and then I'm just going to lift that exposure back up just a hair. And then I'm just going to go ahead and increase the overall warmth, vibrance, and saturation of the photo. Next, I'm going to move down and do some work with our colors. So I'm going to start with our reds here, and I'm going to push them a little bit more towards the pinks, increase their saturation just a hair, and then increase their luminance a bit. Moving on to our oranges, I'm just going to push the hue more towards the magentas, increase the saturation, and then bring down the luminance just a bit. For the yellows, I'm going to go ahead and push them a little bit more towards the greens, and then increase their luminance a little bit. Moving on to our blues, I'm going to adjust the hue to be a little bit more towards the magentas, and then decrease the saturation just a hair. Okay, now that our colors are dialed in, I'm going to move down to the effects tab and then just decrease the texture, clarity, and dehaze just to give the photo a little bit more of a dreamy effect. And then lastly, I just want to give this photo some grain to give it a more filmic feel. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the grain amount to about 70, decrease the size to about 5, and then increase the roughness to about 60. And I think that'll do it for this one. So here's our before and our after.